Hi everyone, this is Ojas Trivedi, Principal Architect from Ojas Trivedi Design Studio, ODS. We work majorly on all kind of interior design projects as well as architecture projects. Today I want to give you a little brief about the work that we have done recently. An interesting thing was the change of use of the building. So actually originally it was used as a car showroom comes garage service area, and recently we have converted into a very interesting preventive healthcare setup facility which had lot of functions like low-end diagnostic, CT scan, mammography, x-ray, low-end diagnostic in terms of ECG, echocardiogram, lot of OPDs for different doctors, cafeteria, then reception foyer, then endoscopy room, and laboratory areas, and few more areas which are kind of a leisure areas with a dental setup and an ophthal setup, and admin area and account section which happens on the basement, class 3, class 4 staff areas. The interesting part was that we didn't disturb the essence of the building, which was the main facade which was coming in the front. We rather highlighted it. We borrowed lot of natural light through it because it was not a south facing facade, it was a north facing facade, and we try to utilize and give options using each and every square inch of the space so that we could maximum fit the functions which were required by client without compromising on comfort of the occupants as well as visitors. So now next I'll take you to the detailing part of it, layout strategies and detail floor wise plans for the same project. So this is the project of converting a car showroom, existing car showroom, into a healthcare setup. So this was the premises where we had one staircase in the corner. We had one huge glazing facade in the front, which was the whole charm of the building, and then we had blank walls with few minor openings here. So if you see, there is a huge double height in the center, which is a double volume, which we already like as architects. Then we had three chunks of parcel of the floor plate. So there is one, this is second, and this is third. This being the smallest chunk, we decided that we will convert this into some recreational part. There was one in the center where we wanted to create lot of small functions with a linearity which is already there. This was the staircase which we prevented as existing, and there were services of toilets which were ideally not enough, so we had to increase the number of counts. And then this was a very good chunk which we had to convert into another healthcare facility. This was on the ground floor. When we move on the first floor, as I told you, this is the double height volume, so there is nothing coming on this floor. This is a small chunk, again the same staircase here, and then few areas here with the staircase coming up, services being there as a toilet and pantry. And this was another chunk that we had with a small jut out area here. And there was a basement where we only had so much of the area to use from, and as it was a basement, everything was blank. There was no glass here. There were few columns which are coming in the center, and this was primarily used as a service bay or car washing facility, and then few back-end staff was sitting here, and then there were two more halls here. So now I'll show you how we converted the whole design process with maximum requirement into a limited floor space. Total, this is 11,000 square feet, including one basement, which is almost half basement, one first floor with a double height floor plate, and a ground floor. When we have this ground floor and the client requirements were changing rapidly, so what we decided was, of course we had limited floor space and we wanted to have maximum functions fitted into this limited floor space. So what we decided was to only have the cutout or a double height volume up to this in the center, which works like a foyer when you enter into this, and this too we closed with the floor plate so that it becomes a usable area on the floor above. So we doubled the number of toilets here in this limited space. We used airport kind of cubicle system which is more hygienic. We did the entire OPD setup in this much of chunk of land. We did a linear corridor, and we had all the x-rays, CT scan and low-end diagnostic area into this much chunk, and few of the MRD and all departments here. We had a VIP lounge done in this chunk, which is immediately coming from here, and this become a small cafeteria with a very nice table as a foyer reception and a waiting lounge here. This was the start of the designing, wherein this becomes the main focal point, and then as and when you need things, you go with the wayfinding signages, and if you want, you can directly go on the upstairs. So when we move on the first floor, as I told you, we have created mezzanine floors here and here. That means we have added the floor plate here, wherein this becomes a void in the center. You can overlook from here. This becomes a corridor. We have dental and opthal facilities here. We have MD and chairman cabins happening here, and we had a cafeteria, small cafeteria again on the first floor, and this whole thing becomes a laboratory area which needed limited access. There was a lot of safety concerns, so we wanted this to be a separate out space. Again, services remained here, where we doubled up the number of toilets, and staircase was here, and there was few admin areas here. So this is how we could use the entire floor plate again on the first floor, and this additional chunk became an endoscopy area here, and this additional chunk again become accounts and admin area here. Coming to the basement, as I told you, we had only half the basement available with us. So what we did was, we created the ramp, parking ramp access from this side, and we had a small COVID test lab here, and directly from the ramp a wheelchair can come or a stretcher can come. So we had a physiotherapy setup in this chunk of land. We had lot of storage requirements which happened here, and we had lot of class 3 and 4 cabins requirement which happened here, and cafeterias and canteen for the staff which happened here. So this is predominantly only for wheelchair bound patient, which can go directly here, as there was no lift in the entire project of ground plus 1 plus basement. There's only one common lift which can be used, but not for the basement. From the parking ramp they can directly come. And this being a COVID test, it has a bifurcation of the entry exit, so this is also a safety protocol we can follow. So this is the final outcome of the layout with all the detailings done. If you can see here, this is the entrance and a double height volume. As I was just explaining, this is the main reception table which has a beautiful form. There's a puja space here, a waiting lounge which is general waiting. There's a secluded VIP lounge, high-end lounge here. There is a cafeteria which happens here. If you move from here on the left, there is a waiting and a OPD controller here, and this is the whole chunk which is having a lot of OPDs, 1 2 3 here, 4 5 6 7 and 8. We have a dressing area separate, and then this becomes the main corridor to go on the upstairs or to go to the service area. And this side, as a linear corridor, we have mammography, medical transcriptions room, we have x-ray, we have console common between the CT scan and x-ray, we have a toilet block here, and we have low-end diagnostic, which is treadmill test, EMT, one echo room, a radiologist, and a USG room which is near to the toilet area. So this comprises of the whole entire ground floor with lot of profile lights and ring lights. We try to create a dramatic play into a volume. These are all the existing profile lights which we have refurbished. This is how it looks.